गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स. या अगोदरच्या व्हिडिओजमध्ये आपण प्लांट ॲनाटॉमीचा स्टडी केलेला आहे. आपण आता पुढचा चॅप्टर सुरू करणार आहोत. त्याचं नाव आहे बायोमॉलिक्युल्स. हा चॅप्टर नंबर 6 आहे. बायोमॉलिक्युल्समध्ये पहिला जो पार्ट आपण डिटेल्समध्ये पाहणार आहोत, दीज आर कार्बोहायड्रेट्स. तर पहिल्यांदा बायोमॉलिक्युल्स म्हणजे काय आपण ते पाहूया. Biomolecules, we know that protoplasm containing numerous chemical molecules or chemical substances, these are called biomolecules. If you see, this is a cell and this is the nucleus. Nucleus is surrounded by the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm plus nucleus, this is called as a protoplasm. And the chemicals which are present inside the protoplasm, all these are called biomolecules. Then we shall see the biochemistry. Biochemistry means biological chemistry of living organisms or chemistry of living cells. This provides the idea of chemistry of living organisms. The chemicals which are present in the living cells, this is called as biochemistry. Biochemistry develops the foundation. Biochemistry, it is developing the foundation for understanding all biological processes which are going on in the cells, communication between the cells. If suppose these are the neighboring cells, how they communicate each other. So this can be understood by biochemistry. Then chemical basis of inheritance, transmission of characters from one generation to the next generation. This can be studied with the help of this biochemistry. Diseases in plants and animals. Here plants and animals, these are infected by various types of diseases. This can be understood with the help of this biochemistry. All living organisms have 3 basic types of macromolecules. Living organisms have 2 types of biomolecules, macromolecules and micromolecules. You can see here, macromolecules are the larger molecules and micromolecules are the smaller molecules. So all living organisms have 3 basic types of macromolecules. We shall see the details of it now. Macromolecules are polymers of simple subunits called monomers. If you take the example of carbohydrates, these carbohydrates, these are the polymers of simple subunits, that is monomers. These are the monosaccharides. Here these monosaccharides, these are joined to each other. There is formation of a polymer called as a carbohydrate, or this is called as a polysaccharide. In the same manner, amino acids, these are the the proteins are or polypeptides. These are the polymers of amino acids. In this way, these macromolecules, these are the polymers of simple subunits called monomers. Then we shall see polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are macromolecules. Macromolecules are of 3 types: polysaccharides, polypeptides, and polynucleotides. These polysaccharides, these are the carbohydrates. These are the polymers made up of monosaccharide monomers. These monosaccharides are simple sugars. These are linked together by a chemical bond, and there is formation of a polymer, and this polymer is a polysaccharide. These monomers or these subunits, these are the monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are joined together by a chemical bond, and there is formation of a polysaccharide. Then polypeptides, these are the proteins. These proteins, these are the polymers of amino acids. This is one amino acid, this is the another amino acid, third amino acid. These amino acids, these are linked together by peptide bonds, and there is formation of a polymer. This is called as a polypeptide. Then polynucleotides. Here these polynucleotides, these are present in the nucleic acid, that is DNA and RNA. These are formed by the polymerization, or these are formed by linking the nucleotides. Adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. These are linked together, and there is formation of a polynucleotide. So these are formed of nucleotide monomers. These are the nucleotide monomers. The nucleotide monomers are linked together, there is formation of a polynucleotide. Then lipids, these are the micromolecules. Polysaccharides, polypeptides and polynucleotides, these are the macromolecules, while lipids are the micromolecules. These lipids are water insoluble. These are the small molecular weight compounds as compared to those of these macromolecules. So as compared to carbohydrates, proteins and nucleic acids, lipids are the smaller molecules and these are insoluble in water. Just now we have seen that biomolecules are the chemical substances which are present in the living cells. These are of two types: organic biomolecules and inorganic biomolecules. Again, organic biomolecules are further divided into macro and micro, etc. So biomolecules are the chemical substances which are present in the protoplasm. These are of two types: organic biomolecules and inorganic biomolecules. Then we shall firstly proceed towards the organic biomolecules. Organic biomolecules, just now I told you, these are of two types: macromolecules and micromolecules. Macromolecules, these are the larger molecules. The examples are polysaccharides. These are the carbohydrates. These are formed by the polymerization of simple sugars. Polypeptides, these are the proteins. These are the polymers of amino acids. Polynucleotides, these are the polymers of nucleotides. These are the macromolecules. Three major categories of macromolecules are polysaccharides, polypeptides and polynucleotides. Micromolecules are of two types: lipids and secondary metabolites. Lipids, these are made up of fatty acids and glycerol. Lipids are the esters of fatty acids and glycerol. Fatty acids are of two types: saturated fatty acids and unsaturated fatty acids. So both the types of fatty acids are involved in the esterification of fatty acids. The secondary metabolites are alkaloids, phenolics, terpenoids, essential oils, toxins and lactins. These are the micromolecules which are present in the protoplasm. Then inorganic biomolecules. Inorganic biomolecules, these are classified into three categories: prime elements, important elements, macro elements and trace elements or the micro elements. Prime elements are carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. These are very important. These are present in the air and water. Macromolecules are NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. These are the macromolecules. These are present in the larger quantity. These are required in the larger quantity by the plants or by the organisms. Trace elements, these are present in the trace amount. These are required in the trace amount, very small amount. These examples of trace elements are boron, chlorine, zinc, copper, iron, sodium, molybdenum, nickel, silicon and cobalt. Thus, inorganic biomolecules are classified into three categories: prime elements, macro elements and trace elements. Prime elements are CHO, these are present in air and water. Macro elements which are required in the larger quantity, which are present in the larger quantity, for example, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. Trace elements, these are also called micro elements. These are boron, chlorine, zinc, copper, iron, sodium, molybdenum, nickel, silicon and cobalt. Now we shall proceed towards the details of macromolecules. Carbohydrates are the macromolecules. These are called polysaccharides. The word carbohydrate means hydrates of carbon. Carbohydrates, these are the hydrates of carbon. They are called saccharides. These are called saccharides. These are made up of just three elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The general formula, it is CH2ON. They are made up of only three elements, CH and O. Carbohydrates can be broken down to release the energy. In the aerobic respiration, glucose, this is a carbohydrate. This glucose is used as a respiratory substrate which is broken down into simplest compounds by release of energy. Thus, carbohydrates are the important source of energy. Based on the number of the further classification of these carbohydrates, based on the number of sugar units, carbohydrates are classified into three categories. Some carbohydrates are simple, some carbohydrates are complex. Based on the number of monosaccharide units, these are classified into three categories: monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Here you can see that these carbohydrates, these are classified into three categories: monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides, these are the simple sugars. These are the simplest sugars. Here in the monosaccharide, there is a single molecule of monosaccharide, single molecule of subunit. In the disaccharide, there are two monosaccharide subunits. In the polysaccharide, many monosaccharide subunits are present. So monosaccharides are the simplest sugars. These are further classified on the basis of number of carbon atoms. Here in the simple sugar, three carbon atoms are present. This is called triose sugar. Example is triglyceride, phosphoglyceric acid, phosphoglyceraldehyde, etc. Tetroses are containing 4 carbon atoms. Example is erythrose. Pentoses are containing 5 carbon atoms. Examples are ribose and deoxyribose. These are present in the nucleic acids. Hexoses are 6 carbon sugars, glucose, fructose, and galactose. Heptoses are 7 carbon sugars. Example is pseudoheptulose. This is a 7 carbon sugar. Then disaccharides. Disaccharides are containing 2 molecules of monosaccharides. For example, sucrose are the cane sugar. This cane sugar contains 1 molecule of glucose and 1 molecule of fructose. In other words, when this sucrose is hydrolyzed, this is broken down in presence of water, it produces glucose, 1 molecule of glucose and 1 molecule of fructose. Thus, this is a disaccharide. Lactose is a milk sugar. This on hydrolysis produces 1 molecule of glucose and 1 molecule of galactose. Third is a maltose or the malt sugar. This is also a disaccharide containing 2 molecules of glucose, only glucose, 2 molecules of glucose are present. Polysaccharides, these are containing many monosaccharide subunits. These again are of 2 types. Homopolysaccharides, homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. In case of homopolysaccharides or homopolysaccharides, these are the polymers of one type of monosaccharides. Only glucose is present or only any type of sugar is present. Examples of these are starch and cellulose. In the starch and cellulose, only glucose molecules are linked together. In case of heteropolysaccharides, these subunits, these monomers, these are of different types. For example, suppose glucose, fructose, etc. Heteropolysaccharides contain different types of subunits, different types of monosaccharides. Examples of heteropolysaccharides are hyaluronic acid, heparin, blood group substances, chondroitin, sulfate, etc. These are the examples of heteropolysaccharides. Then monosaccharides. This is repetition of what we have seen just now in detail. These are the monosaccharides are the simplest of sugars with a crystalline structure. Monosaccharides, that is glucose, fructose, and galactose. These are the simplest sugars with crystalline nature and sweet in taste. These are soluble in water. This cannot further be hydrolyzed into any type of sugar. Glucose, fructose, and galactose, they cannot be further hydrolyzed into simple molecules. These are the building blocks, these are the monomers of complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates, just now we have seen disaccharides and polysaccharides. These complex carbohydrates are formed from these monosaccharides. They have a general formula CH2O and N. Monosaccharides contain aldehyde group, CH2 group, or ketone groups. Monosaccharides containing CHO group are called aldoses. Examples are glucose and xylose. Monosaccharides which are containing ketone group, CO group, these are classified as ketoses or ketose sugars. All monosaccharides are reducing sugars. All the monosaccharides These are reducing sugars because they are having free aldehyde and ketone groups. Just now we have seen aldehyde group and ketone group are present, and that's why these are having the reducing property. These sugars reduce Benedict's reagent as they are capable of transferring the hydrogen groups, hydrogen atoms. Then classification of monosaccharides. Just now we have seen, still we shall see in detail. Monosaccharides are classified on the basis of number of carbon atoms. 3 carbon atoms, trioses. Examples of glycerides: phosphoglyceric acid, phosphoglyceraldehyde. Tetroses are the 4 carbon sugars, for example erythrose. Pentoses are 5 carbon sugars, ribose in RNA and deoxyribose in DNA. Hexoses are 6 carbon sugars. Examples are glucose, it is a blood sugar. Fructose is a fruit sugar. Galactose is a product of lactose. Heptoses are 7 carbon sugars. These are 7 carbon sugars. Example is pseudoheptylose. Here trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses and heptoses. These are the 7 carbon sugars. Then important hexose sugars, important 6 carbon sugars. First 6 carbon sugar, it is a glucose. This is the important fuel in living organisms. Glucose is used as a source of energy. When glucose is used in the aerobic respiration, it releases the energy. Human blood has 90 milligrams per ml this glucose. In the 100 ml of blood, there is 90 milligrams of glucose. This, because of the smaller size, glucose molecule is in smaller size, this is water soluble, and because of this, this can pass through the cell membrane. Suppose these are the 2 cells. Because of the smaller size, they can easily pass through the cell membrane. Energy released when the glucose molecules are metabolized in cellular respiration, just now I told you. When in the aerobic respiration, glucose is used as a substrate, this produces the energy. This is the first hexose sugar, glucose, which is very important. Galactose. This looks very similar to the glucose molecule. This is a structure of this galactose. This is the structure of this glucose. They can exist in both forms, alpha form and beta form. This galactose reacts with the glucose to form a lactose. Lactose is a milk sugar. When this is hydrolyzed, this produces 1 molecule of glucose, galactose, and 1 molecule of glucose. Glucose and galactose cannot be easily converted into each other. These are not easily interconvertible. Galactose cannot play the same role as in case of glucose. So galactose, it is present in the milk sugar. It looks very similar to the glucose molecule. It occurs in 2 forms, alpha form and beta form. Galactose reacts with the glucose to form a lactose, is a milk sugar. Glucose and galactose cannot be easily interconvertible. Galactose cannot play the same role as that of a glucose. This is the second important hexose sugar. Third important hexose sugar, this is a fructose, this is called as a fruit sugar. This is a ketohexose. This contains the ketone group. It is having 5 atom ring. 5 glucose and galactose, these are having 6 atom ring, but this fructose is a 5 atom ring rather than 6 atom ring. Fructose combines with the glucose. There is formation of a sucrose. Sucrose is a cane sugar. Fructose, this is linked with the glucose molecule to form a sucrose. Fructose is a third important 6 carbon sugar. Then we shall proceed towards the next category of carbohydrates, disaccharides. Monosaccharides, these are the simplest sugars. These are used as monomers. These are used as the subunits in the formation of complex sugars, complex carbohydrates, disaccharides and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are rare in nature. Glucose, fructose and galactose. Most sugars found in the nature, these are disaccharides. For example, sucrose, etc. When 2 monosaccharides react by condensation reaction, disaccharide is formed. Here you can see that when 2 monosaccharide subunits, these are joined together, there is formation of a disaccharide. This is one monosaccharide, this is another monosaccharide, and thus there is formation of a disaccharide by condensation reaction. Disaccharides are water soluble, but they cannot pass through the cell membrane. These are water soluble, but because of their larger size, they cannot pass through the cell membrane from one cell to the other cell. They are broken down in the small intestine during digestion. During the digestion of food, these disaccharides, these are broken down into the simple sugars, these are broken down into the monosaccharides. Thus formed monosaccharides, after the digestion, after hydrolysis of disaccharides, monosaccharides are produced, and these are passed into the blood and through cell membranes into the cell. You can see here, this is a disaccharide, C12H22O11. One molecule of water is added, and there is a breakdown of this disaccharide. This disaccharide is broken down into two monosaccharide subunits, that is C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. Here, when this disaccharide is hydrolyzed, there is formation of two monosaccharide subunits. Then important disaccharides. Disaccharide containing two molecules of monosaccharides. First example is sucrose. Sucrose is a cane sugar. This is a non-reducing sugar since it does not contain free aldehyde and ketone groups. Sucrose on hydrolysis yields one molecule of glucose and one molecule of fructose. Sucrose is a disaccharide containing one molecule of glucose and one molecule of fructose. In other words, on hydrolysis, this sucrose produces one molecule of glucose and one molecule of fructose. Lactose, it is a milk sugar. Lactose is a reducing sugar. It is a non-reducing, it is a reducing sugar. Lactose also contains, it exists in beta form. This is made from one molecule of beta galactose and one molecule of beta glucose. So there is formation of a lactose. Lactose is a milk sugar. Maltose, it is a reducing sugar. This is a malt sugar. It is present in the malt. It is formed by condensation of two molecules of glucose. Here this is a maltose sugar. It contains two molecules of glucose. This is one molecule, this is another molecule, and there is a chemical bond between these. This is called as a glycosidic linkage. Two molecules of glucose, these are linked together by means of a glycosidic linkage. In other words, on hydrolysis, this maltose produces one molecule of glucose, two molecules of glucose. Then polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are larger in size because they are containing many molecules of monosaccharides. These are formed by the polymerization of monosaccharide molecules. So many monosaccharide subunits, these are linked together, and there is formation of a larger molecule. This is called as a polysaccharide. On hydrolysis, when these are broken down, they produce large number of monosaccharides, large number of subunits. The properties of polysaccharides depend upon length, branching, coiling, and folding. Properties of these polysaccharides, these are depending upon length of polysaccharide, its pattern of branching, pattern of folding, and coiling. Types of polysaccharides. Homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides we have discussed. Still we shall discuss once again. Homopolysaccharides, these are made up of only one type of monosaccharides. These are made up of either glucose or any other different sugar. For example, starch, cellulose, and glycogen, these are made up of only glucose. Heteropolysaccharides, these are made up of different types of monosaccharide subunits. They are containing different types. In some cases, glucose and other may be present, fructose and other may be present. For example, hyaluronic acid, heparin, etc. Homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. Examples of homopolysaccharides are starch, plant storage molecule, cellulose, it is present in the cell wall, glycogen, animal storage molecule. Heteropolysaccharides, these are the polymers of different types of monosaccharide subunits. Then important polysaccharides. The first important polysaccharide is the starch. Starch is a stored food in the plants. In the plants, food material is stored in the form of a starch. For example, wheat grain, jawar grain, bajra grain. In these grains, food material is stored in the form of a starch. It exists in two forms. This starch has two forms, amylose and amylopectin. Amylose, it is unbranched polymer of glucose, and this amylopectin, it is a branched polymer of glucose. Amylose, branched polymer of alpha glucose. The molecules coil into helical structure. There is formation of a helical structure. It forms a colloidal suspension in hot water. If the amylose is added in the hot water, it forms a colloidal suspension. Amylopectin, this is the structure of amylopectin. It is a branched polymer of alpha glucose. It is insoluble in water. This forms a colloidal suspension. This is insoluble in water. Then glycogen. In the plants, food material is stored in the form of a starch. It is a stored food in the animal body. In the animal body, food material is stored in the form of a glycogen. Glycogen is stored in the liver and muscles of animals. When glucose is needed, when glucose is required for energy, or when energy is required, this glycogen is hydrolyzed to glucose. Glycogen is broken down, there is formation of a glucose. It is a amylopectin glycogen, it is a amylopectin. The next type of this polysaccharide, it is a cellulose. Cellulose, it is present in the cell wall of plants. This is present in the cell wall. It is a polymer made up of beta glucose molecule, and these polymers are straight. Cellulose is much tougher than the cell membrane, plasma membrane. Cell wall is tough, more tough than the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Arrangement of glucose units in the polymer chain and hydrogen bonding between the neighboring chains give the toughness to the cell membrane. Toughness to the cellulose molecule. The cellulose molecules are tough due to the arrangement of glucose units in the polymer chain. Then biological shift. We have seen the different types of sugars, different types of carbohydrates. Now we shall see the biological significance of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates supply energy for metabolism. If you take the example, glucose. This glucose is used in the process of respiration, or glucose is a respiratory substrate and which releases energy. Means carbohydrates supply energy for metabolism. Glucose is the main substrate for ATP generation. This energy released due to the breakdown of this glucose in the form of adenosine triphosphate. Glucose is the main substrate for ATP synthesis, ATP generation. Lactose, this second significance, lactose is a milk sugar. This is a disaccharide and it is present in the milk. This provides the energy for feeding babies, for the small babies. So lactose is a very important as a source of energy for babies. Polysaccharides like starch and glycogen, these act as a reservoir food. Starch is a reservoir food in the plants. Glycogen is a reservoir food in the animals. Cellulose is the structural component of cell wall. Cell wall is made up of cellulose. As far as the biological significance of carbohydrates is concerned, this is a source of energy. It is a source of ATP molecules. Lactose is a milk sugar providing the energy to the babies. This is a reserved food material. Polysaccharides are the reserved food material. Starch in plants and glycogen in animals. Cellulose is the important structural component of cell wall. This is about the carbohydrates. मित्रों, आपणास जर हा व्हिडिओ आवडला असेल तर कृपया लाईक करा, शेअर करा and सबस्क्राईब करा. धन्यवाद.